Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us, Crazy Canucks Performance, with another video. First, I'd like to make a little shout out. We got to hit our first 100 subscribers.
100, big day.
100 subscribers today on our YouTube channel. That's pretty good. Okay, we are going to install BRP Ice Scratchers on this VR1 137. So you're seeing some BRP stuff with Polaris. Got to use what works. So these are the Ice Scratchers. Might be a little hard to see here. Let's get a little zoom in. Grattoir à neige for my Frenchies. That's the part number. We'll have that in the description as well. And some tools that we're going to need. What do we need here?
So some tools you're going to need is a 15 mil socket and a wrench, center punch, 1/4 inch drill bit that you're going to use for drilling your hole into the ear support that comes down to make this so that you can protrude into there. We'll go over all that. A hammer, measuring tape too, and a file just for when you're going to have to file down the bushings.
Yeah, file, bench grinder or grinder.
Or a grinder, yeah, because you're going to have to cut these bushings down too. So we'll go over all that and go get after it.
All right, so we've got the machine here, just supported a little bit, taking a little bit of the weight off using this chain block. Everything will stay in place a little bit better when we take these suspension bolts out.
So step one, with your 15 mil, you can undo this. So you can pull that bolt out. You're going to need to reuse the nut, but you're not going to reuse the bolt. So keep the nut and stash the bolt. Also, you're going to reuse this, so you can just leave that in the back side. You're not tipping the side over, so that can stay in there. So the next thing that you're going to do is you got to get your bushing, and you have to see how it's going to fit here. So you can see that it's not fitting tight. See how there's a gap there? This here is smaller than the backing on the bushing here. So we are going to have to file it down, grind it down to make it so that it fits inside of here. So you can see it's not going to fit like it is. So you're going to have to do a little bit of modifying on it. So the first thing we're going to do is we will grab a marker, and we're just going to kind of mark, like you can see right there, where it needs to be ground down, and then on the other side where my hand is, you can't see, but we're going to mark it with a marker to give us a quick idea of where we need to mark it. Okay, so basically if that needs to sit down there.
Yeah, so you're basically making...
Just a rough idea of where you need to remove some of the material.
Yeah.
So it'd be something like that. We're just going to focus on those two areas. We're going to grind down there and there.
All right.
So now we're at the point where we're going to use the grinder. Our bench grinder is out of service at the moment, so we are going to go with the more risque style of grinding this down. We're just using it just to quickly take off a little bit more material. You can see where we've marked. And then we'll use a file, bam, to clean it up nicely.
Yeah, we don't necessarily recommend
we don't recommend you doing it this way. This is
sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So after some grinding and some test fitting and some filing, there's what we've come up with to make it so that it fits inside there. You can see the difference between the how they come and where we have ground down and filed. We even put a small bevel on the end for down at the bottom of it. So there you go, you can see the difference.
I mean, it's not exactly perfect, but it does fit in there perfectly, so it is what it is. So there's the two differences, and we'll go over and show you.
Yeah, the key I think is to make sure that it sits in there flat.
So, trying to put the light there so you can see. So, we were just using the bolt that it comes with, just as this here is going to be sitting against it. So that way you know that you're centered. So there you go, you can see where we've ground down on this side and a little bit on the bottom to make it so that it fits inside there. So just like that, if you were to press the bolt there, there's no rocking or anything like that. Like it's solid up against there, and you can see that we're within the cutout. So do the exact same on the other side with your bushing.
So your next step will be cutting down the plastic bushing and one of the aluminum bushings. This will be your outer bushing. The one that you have already filed down will be your inner. We just decided to cut on your outer one. So again, 1/4 inch off of here, 1/4 inch off of here. The reasoning for that is when this here is all on, and this here goes in through your sled, where the arm comes down for the reinforcement. This bolt, by the time it goes through the ear, does not get on all the way. So it only gets like a thread to like that. So you need about 1/4 inch more in order to get a full nut on. So once you've cut down the 1/4 inch off of each, you'll get a full nut on it. So we will cut that down on the
Outer bushing and the sleeve. You can use anything that you have to cut it. We used a just a hacksaw, but yeah, and with the magic of video, we have a cut one already.
So there you go, we've cut down, you can see between the two there, we've cut a 1/4 inch off of this aluminum bushing, and we've cut a 1/4 inch off of the plastic one. So now when this all goes together, we'll show you on the sled that now you'll be able to get a full nut on the backside.
All right, let's see what that looks like on the machine.
So here we're going to show you on the sled why we took the 1/4 inch off of the plastic bushing and the aluminum one. So this one here has not been cut. So this is to show you the reason why. So when you push it through on the back side here, you can only get, there's only maybe 4 threads sticking through. So by the time you put your nut on the back side and you tighten it, we'll tighten it up just to show you. By the time there's it tight, you still have a lot of thread left. So you need to have at least a flush bolt coming out of the nut. So you can see there, I don't know if you can see with the video exactly, but there's not enough sticking out. So that's why you got to cut the 1/4 inch to make it so that, like there you go, I literally turn the bolt twice and it's already loose. So this way, that way the bolt, the nut on the back side will get into the nylock part of the nut and do what the nylock's job is. So we're still going to put a little bit of blue Loctite on this just to be safe, but that's why you need to cut the 1/4 inch off, so that way you can get a full nut on and the nylock actually grabs the bolt.
And now we'll show you the cut one. Yeah, you can already see there's a lot more thread.
So you can feel, I can feel now there's probably, I don't know, at least 8 or so or 10 threads there. So we'll show you now with the one that's cut a 1/4 inch. So there you can see it is through the nylock and the tip of the bolt is out by just 1 or 2 threads.
So your next step will be drilling the hole so that your spring can go through the support here. So you're gonna see, if you feel on the back side, you have this part here, so you don't have too much room to drill to get this piece through. It's a 1/4 inch that you need. So you can see we're just up against the edge where this fold comes in for the support. So you're gonna be just right there in order to get yourself through on the top side. We have the back of the sled lifted up just about an inch or so that way we can make sure that these are straight down, because if you let the sled down and did this, you're gonna not be able to get the amount for when you go to let the sled down to have tension on the spring.
Yeah, and you want it as close to there as possible so that you do have as much tension as you can.
See in there how close it is.
Yeah.
So get yourself a center punch and punch that. Now that you've drilled yourself your hole, you should be able to place this in. Make sure your bushing on the backside doesn't fall out. Bring the back of the sled down. Perfect. So, just like that. Then you can put your nut on the backside.
You can see now we've got some tension in here.
So your last step, now that you have your ice scratcher mounted, is you're going to need the holder for when you're not using them. So it comes with the kit comes with 2 different setups. It comes with this larger plate one. We tried it to just rough fit it on there. It doesn't fit very well, so we're going to opt to use this more universal one. So put that one back. You can see here how it kind of dips down a bit and then goes flat. So this one here, when your ice scratcher comes and sits in it, this here is the one you're going to want to use for your right hand side of the sled. So we'll just kind of do a dry fit here just to kind of show you what we're talking about. So this here is going to come up and support. I mean, the closer you can have it to in here, the better. You don't want to have it so much further down here. Up here would be best. So you can see there's your holes there. So we're going to mark it from the bottom side, but this here kind of gives you an idea. You don't want to be too far inside, so you're in where the track area would be, but make it so that you're kind of flush with that. And we will mark it. So this definitely works good to have an extra person to give you a hand. So we have marked the bottom. You can see there. Drill bit size wise too, you're going to want to use a 3/16. Should do the trick for bolt sides that they come with. So that's what we're going to do. We will drill them now. Okay, so now that we've drilled our hole with the 3/16 bit, it is a little bit tight, but you can use your T25 and it goes through. You can see, like, pretty easy. Just run it through with the drill. There's no tension on it. That. I think we're going to We're not going to go too crazy here. We're just going to snug it up so that we can mark the last hole. Like so. Again, make sure that you're nicely lined up at the side of the tunnel. You can also do a little test fit now to make sure that it is going to sit all right. So that there looks good to me.
Yeah, we opted to drill one hole, mount it, and then drill a second hole just to make sure.
And then just do the same thing. Use your T25 and you can see like it goes in super easy. Just that way you're not making too big of a hole. So that way they don't get, if they do get loose, they don't oblong themselves. So same thing. Grab your 10 mil. The bolts or the nuts too have nylock, so they will tighten up. And just to be sure, maybe just use a ratchet just to make sure that you're tight. Don't need to over tighten it, but make sure you got a little bit of the bolt coming through the nut. And then you can, bam, just like that. So when you're not using your ice scratchers, there, so you're using them, you're all done, don't need them anymore. They sit up nice and out of the way. So
awesome. So we are
clean
going
install.
to do the same thing for the other side. All right, here's the final product. Both sides are done. This is what it looks like. Looks pretty good. Mount here, of course, you just pull up, down, and then other side is the same. See that? Now we needed some snow to test this out. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching the video. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back again with more videos shortly. Thank you.